Guys, I want to welcome you all back here. I have some revelations and shocking news today to share with you all. And I'm going to get into all the shocking details of this information that I discovered today. And it's much more shocking than the video that I made last night and uploaded on YouTube this morning. The information I'm going to share with you is far much more details and cover-ups of the actual truth to what happened to Whitney Houston in that hotel on the night of February the 11th of 2012 at 3:55 in the evening when they declared her dead. We have now proof that the autopsy that this coroner's office had released to the public is actually an autopsy that has been manufactured, and I'm going to show you how detailed that this autopsy is actually manufactured, including audios from the doctors, from the toxicologist laboratories. We're going to find out, you're going to hear for yourself firsthand of the audio reports of how that they use the word Jane Doe and John Doe when the coroners are making a report ordered for a toxicology to be ordered. They always use Jane Doe or John Doe when it's a victim that they do not know the name of. But in this case, with the toxicology paper forms that were being issued and ordered for the toxicology laboratories to do an analysis on the fluids of Whitney Houston, it turns out that they used this as a way of saying that they did not know Whitney Houston. They called her Jane Doe, and they put it on the reports when they had ordered and issued the orders of these toxicologies to be performed. And what's interesting about this is that they knew Whitney Houston, so we even got them on audio admitting that they never use a victim that they don't know and refer to that person or that victim as Jane Doe if they know them. If they know them, they never use Jane Doe or John Doe for the victim. But in this case, they pretended like they didn't even know who Jane Doe was, who Whitney Houston was. And they sent this report to the toxicologist, and they received the report. This actual reports of this was actually given to the NMS laboratories on the 7th of March, which means that they had plenty of time to know who Whitney Houston was. That's the interesting part. Okay, is that they knew who Whitney Houston was, but why did they say that they never used Jane Doe for a victim that they know? And in this case, they concealed her name and they concealed her gender and her age before they sent this out to these laboratories. And then we had confirmation from the laboratories themselves that this usually does not happen, that they don't usually do it unless the coroners are, for legal reasons, are using this or not using the victim's name in this case. We also found out that one of the laboratories that they sent the fluids from the supposed the supposed victim Whitney Houston, the alleged victim Whitney Houston, to this laboratory, said that they are not licensed to do toxicology analysis on the deceased. He admits it on audio, which you're going to get all a big wind of this. You're going to all hear this toxicologist saying that they only are licensed to do live people's analysis or animals. They're not licensed to do death, although the doctor that spoke says that he has done analysis on the deceased before. But he says you have to be licensed for it. I thought you had to be licensed to do an examination on even the deceased, not just only the people that are alive or animals that are alive. You have to be licensed for all of them. But nevertheless, I'm not going to get into all of that. I want you all to hear firsthand from the audios. You're going to hear the questions of how we caught them in a trap and how we caught the coroners in a lie about their use of the word Jane Doe and John Doe. Okay, and how that they tried to deny the knowledge of who Whitney Houston was, and how that they tried to conceal her name for legal purposes. Now you got to remember, wonder what that legal purpose is for. There ain't but one person who would use Jane Doe for somebody who is the identity of the person. There ain't but one reason why they would use that name Jane Doe after they already discovered the name of that victim, and that is to cover up or to conceal a crime that's being committed so that no one knows the truth of who this person is or the fluids where they come from. These fluids could have came from any Tom, Dick, and Harry that's laying in their damn morgue. It could have been fluids sent to the laboratories from an actual known drug addict that's in the same morgue where they put her body at, took these fluids, put her identity on these fluids, sent this label up to the office, and this is what we got back as a fraudulent, made-up, manufactured document. And there's several things that gave me the reasons why I believe this. But I'm going to go into more details about all this because this is big, big freaking news, guys. You have no idea. This stuff is off the charts. A cover-up that goes all the way to the top, to the police department of Los Angeles, the coroner's office, and including all the way to the White House, as I have discussed before in my last video. But I'm not going to talk about the White House in this video. This video is going to be focused on the call that we made today to Beverly Hills Hotel about the discovery of Whitney Houston's body being burnt, boiled. And I'm going to let y'all hear this audio right now where the Beverly Hills hotel where she stayed at says that their hotels are normally not that hot, or the waters are not normally that hot that would actually cause injuries. They even go on to admit they never had an injury or anyone ever complaining about burns, severe burns or skin slippage. This guy completely says it's never happened to them in their hotel. But nevertheless, we're going to show you why, and I told you that they lied about all the marks on her body, and if she did have all these marks on her body, somebody tampered with the temperature of that water, and somebody made sure that that water was so scalding hot that it actually did all this damage on there. Somebody had access to the temperature gauge on the thermometer and was able to turn it up. Well, there ain't but one place in that hotel that can be done from, and that's done in the boiler room, where they can control the temperatures of the water in each room from the boiler room. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the audio, and I'm going to let you see the footage from the news articles, and I'm going to while you're listening to the audio, I'm going to show you the news articles where these reports of saying that the temperatures were boiling hot. Even doctors were saying don't close this case, and do not rule out homicide and do not rule out foul play. Doctors are even saying that this is foul play. For somebody to be burnt so severely like this, somebody that they suspect foul play with this case, and they keep trying to push the issues as well. But instead of me talking, guys, I talked enough. I want you to all hear it. Okay, so hang on a second. Let me get it all set up for you all. Let me put this up in here real quick, and I'm going to start the audio here as soon as I get it adjusted here. Hang on just one second. Just give me one moment. Now, when I want to move the link here, it doesn't want to move for me. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to play the audio, and just listen to the audio as I'm flipping through the news, and I hope that you all can read it.
Calling the Beverly Hilton. All lines are busy. Please hold, and your call will be answered by the next available operator. Thank you for calling the Beverly Hilton. All lines are busy. Please hold, and your call will be answered by the next available operator.
Thank you for calling the Beverly Hilton. May I help you?
Hi, yes. I'd like to book a room, please.
Of the newly expanded International Collection, while the Beverly Hills Collection boasts ballrooms in an exclusive corridor, allowing for a seamless flow of activity. For high-level coverage office, to transfer your call to the appropriate representative, please select from the following options. To make a new reservation, press 1. For room reservations, press 1. I'll get someone to help you. Transferring you now. To ensure quality, this call may be monitored or recorded.
Thank you for continuing to hold. You will now hear music until the next available...
Thank you for calling the Beverly Hilton. My name is Steven. How can I help you?
Oh, hi, Steven. Just calling to book a room, but I just wanted to ask some information before I give you my information.
Yes, please.
Yeah, do you guys have jacuzzis in your rooms?
On some of the rooms, we might have a jacuzzi, that is, but let me have a quick look to see on availability for you. Are you specifically looking for one that has one?
Pardon me?
Oh, are you looking for a room that has a jacuzzi on the room
Yes,
itself?
because I want to see how hot the temperature goes because I have psoriasis on my skin, and I have to be very sensitive of how hot the water is.
Oh, I understand.
So I just want to see if each room that does have a jacuzzi, if there's a dial where you can control the temperature.
That was indeed a real good question you have there. Let us have a quick look onto the system here for you. Would you mind if I place you? No, just be a quick second. We'll try to see if I can get that detail.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, thank you as well. One moment, please. Thank you. Thank you for waiting.
Okay.
Yes, and I do apologize for that hold, but I rechecked onto the details of each of the rooms, and must have mistaken. There is only a bathtub in the room, not a jacuzzi.
Oh, okay, perfect. And I just wanted to ask you, is your hot water really, really hot, like maybe over 150 degrees? Or even 200, like almost boiling point? In the rooms?
100, 200 degrees. Oh, these are real specific questions we got there.
Yeah, because I have psoriasis and I'm really sensitive. Like I can only be in water no hotter than 101. Because my psoriasis came back.
Oh,
and
I
it's
understand.
fresh. It's like, it's really embarrassing, but it's just like pretty much blisters on my body.
Oh, that's not embarrassing at all, if I may say. But, yes, let me check to confirm that for you to see if the,
Because I know some hotels have restrictions. They're not allowed to go over 104 degrees.
let me try and see if I could get that detail from the temperature, that is, from housekeeping, see if they have that detail or any other information. So, your limit would be 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, I just want to know the temperature of just the hot water turned on from the heater in general because of my psoriasis. Because I know some hotels have restrictions or whatever. They're not allowed to go over 100 and I think it's 105 is the cap. But some of my friends had gotten burnt in your hot water being over 150 degrees and some other hotels. So I need to make sure it's going to be safe for me before I book.
I understand. So I would need to place you back on hold. I'll try to get that detail for you. Could I place your note?
Thank you so much.
Oh, no, you're welcome. Thank you.
See, what this is confirming, ladies and gentlemen, while he's going to go get to...
Thank you for waiting, ma'am.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
No, you're welcome, man. But we do apologize for right now. We don't have someone available that would get us that detail to see how warm the water would be once the heater have been turned on. Because that specific detail may be needed to be taken to a special department, and that's some information we don't have readily available. We're real sorry about this, miss.
Okay.
But, oh, sorry.
Okay, so, but you don't think it's boiling water coming out of the tub, right?
If I may say, definitely not. And also, once they're at the property, I'm sure that I could indicate onto your reservation and place it on the comment that we would like to have temperature of this range
Okay.
I see.
Okay.
Give them a heads up.
Okay. And have you had people in the past complaining that your water is too hot, that they've had second or third degree burns, like scalding mark and slipping of the skin?
Not of that nature, ma'am, no.
You'd ever had anything like that at all?
Nope, I've never encountered that is.
Okay, perfect. So I was just a little concerned in case, I had a heart attack or something and I slipped in the bathtub. I don't want to get, slipping skin or a third degree burn, so that's why I was asking.
I understand that entirely. And of course, whatever makes the stay more comfortable, that will be a great concern for us as well.
Yes.
Let me please put into the comments that what is the degree range that we would perhaps want to have on the room. So
nothing over 102, please.
Oh, certainly. So we could specify water heater should not be over 102 degrees.
Okay. And do you have access to control the water temperature in each room, or is that in your boiler room in the basement?
I'm not
like a main water line. Like, is there a thermostat for the water in each room?
There's no exact thermostat under each room, but that would be something that we could check and specify if it is needed, so that is.
Okay.
I'm not that particular with regards to the plumbing system
okay.
of the property. It's being handled by a different department, that is. Real sorry about that.
Yeah.
But then again, we have noted it down.
Okay.
And water heater should not be over 102 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right. And is the bathtub on a step? Or is it pretty low on the floor in case I tripped and fell in the bathtub? Is it pretty high, like sitting on a platform? 'Cause I know some of your bathtubs have like a step to get into. So even if I did fall into the bathtub, I could still be outside of the bathtub. Like falling on the edge of the bathtub, I mean. Like it wouldn't actually let me fall in the tub, because that would mean I have to stand on the step and then fall in. Right?
Coming from right there, yep. And for that question, this is, if I may see, room-specific details here. Let me try and see if I have that exact.
Because I also want to know how long is the bathtub? Is it long enough to lay in the bathtub, like straight from head to toe? Because I'm about 5'8".
5'8".
I'm 5'8", and I just wanted to know if I could lay in the bathtub.
Let me see, that should be long enough to lay in, that is.
Okay.
But the only thing I'm looking at is the height of it. That is, because I do understand your question. If you fall, would it have an extra step so that you would fall into the tub itself, or would it be on the floor level, that is? So
yes.
If you fall, you would dive right into the tub, something like that. Is that correct?
Yes. Because I have epilepsy and I don't want to have a seizure.
Oh, interesting. Certainly, ma'am. So let us look into that detail as well. And also maybe I could check on availability for you so that we can find out which room we're looking for, so that we can find out what kind of stuff is on that room.
Okay.
Yes. And what dates are we looking for?
I just wanted to see if the bathtub was going to be like elevated on an extra step. Like if I can step up into the bathtub.
We'll go ahead and ask that question. But yes, first we may need to check which room we're taking so that we could pinpoint onto that room's bathtub.
Well, I would prefer. It doesn't matter. Like if I just wanted to know if there was a step on a pedestal, or if all the bathtubs are just sitting on the floor.
Like
standard bathtub.
Yeah, pardon?
Like a standard bathtub, not necessarily on a step. Like, do you guys have any standard bathtubs?
Yeah, so we do have some of them standards, but the reason why I asked for a room specifically, because some of the rooms may have standard, or some may have an elevated bathtub. So that's something that we need to check.
Okay.
The room itself.
Okay. How many floors is your hotel? Is it 8?
We are 8 floors total, yes.
Okay, so just say maybe half, 4. The 4th floor. Like nothing
Somewhere on the 4th floor. And you're looking for a king-bedded room, standard king-bedded room, or something with a suite?
With a suite.
Would a junior suite do for us? Should...
I don't know. Just whatever has a king bed.
I understand. So, please allow us a few more moments. Let me also look into that detail for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You stay in the line. Let me try and ask.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after you see all through this is the conclusion of the most important parts of this audio. The reason why that I have talked about this and showed you this audio is because if you look at on your screen right now, which I'm going to show you here real quick, is that this is from the let me get the name here real quick. It's from the Sun newspaper, okay? And here it shows that autopsies, scars, burns, a hole in her nose, that she had a hole in her nose, and 11 false teeth, a needle mark, and 9 cocktail drugs in her body, and dodgy heart, and also a liver. There's no way in hell that a person can have that kind of problem with her body. And she did not look like a woman who had a physical, a physical appearance of somebody that's that sick. Also, if you look on her neck here, on the autopsy graphic of the official autopsy of Whitney Houston, it said that she had a scar right there on her right side of her neck. If you look right there on her neck, there does not appear to be any scars whatsoever anywhere on her body. So that even shows that that's a false report from the coroner's office. But nevertheless, I'm not going to even say that. But look at this. The reason why we called that Beverly Hills Hilton hotel is because we wanted to confirm with them that they never heard of this kind of accidents, that somebody had burns of this severe with their hot water in their bathtub. And considering the fact that this guy works for the Beverly Hilton, he knows that there had been a death that had just occurred there, so that would have been gossip all through the whole hotel if this woman had died from severe burn marks. Everybody would have probably had full knowledge that her water was extremely hot and that she had burn marks all over her skin. But nevertheless, he's never even heard of anything like this in his hotel. Secondly, if you look at this whole thing here, it also talks about her having 11 false teeth on here. If you go to the very first page of the official autopsy that they had released to the public, the very first page at the very top one is giving the height, the weight, and giving the description of her mouth and of her teeth. It says that she has all 11 natural teeth in her mouth. In other words, it's contradictory. Even in an autopsy, if you read a little bit further, it said she had missing her teeth. And this is not just only coming from them. This is coming from even the New York Post is even saying this. Is saying that she had ravaged scars and cuts and burns in autopsy, which was revealed in the autopsy report. Okay, but again, guys, this is showing you again a deliberate lie to the public, that trying to deceive the public that she had received all of these ligatures and abrasions and contusions and burn marks and slippage of skin, blah blah blah. And of course, the source that gave me this audio was kind of being humorous to see if they can catch on. And if you notice, she confirmed with that person that was giving her all this information. She had said up there, she said she didn't want to slip and fall because she has epileptics and she didn't want to fall into the bathtub. In other words, she was describing, and they do not have jacuzzis in the room. So in other words, meaning that that there's no temperature control of the water from within inside of the room whatsoever. And she was getting this information on purpose to show that it's impossible for this water to reach that temperature settings in a hotel room because of the laws. The FDA makes it requirement that the temperatures in wash baths, what we call wash tubs or sinks, where you wash your hands, the temperature is supposed to only be and maintain at the maximum temperature of 102 degrees. Now, this is in the laws of the FDA out of California. Now, I find this quite interesting that, this proves that somebody had tampered. If she did have any of these marks that they claim, which I've already showed you in the last video, that the coroner said in his first interview, his first statement that he told the local news, he told everybody that this woman did not have any visual trauma to her body when he first walked into the hotel room. Now you got to remember, this interview of Ed Winters was given to the media and to the local TV and CTV News out of Canada, was given to these people the very next day after he had made his walkthrough and his discovery of her body there, and before they even took her body out of the hotel room. So he already knew that her body was, it was in the nude. When he walked in that hotel room, it was already described as she was laying in the hotel room, she was in her nude, so it's impossible for him not to see any visual signs that he was describing in his autopsy, because in his autopsy report on the graphics, it shows, like I've discussed with you earlier, it shows that these are more of a defense wounds on her body than actual injuries that she's received from the trauma of the accident that they're trying to claim or sell to the public. But nevertheless, I've already discussed this in the last video. What I'm going to discuss with you now, and I showed you here now the importance of that, and this next one I'm going to show you is far much more interesting. Okay, now you remember I discussed with you all about Jane Doe and all John Doe and all this crap that the coroner's office was, the use of the word Jane Doe and John Doe. Okay, this is an audio taken from the doctor. Let me go ahead and get this information here before me here. The doctor that you're going to hear this audio from is also from a source who called to this doctor here. His name is Joseph M. Kwasniok. Okay, PhD of the Perkin-Elmer Genetics Incorporations out of Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. And in this report, it shows that the patient's name is being removed and identified as Jane Doe. Now, first of all, I'm going to let you hear what he says about the Jane Doe and the use of the word Jane Doe when in the proper time that it's actually used in. And you're going to hear from him instead of me. I'm going to let you hear it from his voice. So here we go, guys. And then I'm going to explain the significance. After you hear all of these audios, I'm going to explain at the end of all of these audios. I'm going to play all three of them, and then you will determine, and I will identify each one of them. Okay, the first one is from the Perkin-Elmer Genetics Incorporation. So here we go. Listen in carefully.
Thank you for calling Perkin-Elmer Genetics. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it now. Remain on the line for the next available client service representative. Your call may be monitored for quality purposes.
Gracias por llamar a Perkin-Elmer Genetics. Si desea hablar en español, presione 8.
Please hold on while I try that extension.
Good afternoon, Perkin-Elmer Genetics.
Hi, good afternoon. Is Dr. Joseph Kwasniok available?
Hold on while I transfer you.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Dr. Kwasniok.
Oh, hi, good afternoon, doctor. My name is Melissa Morals, and I was just doing a quick project for my class for college, and I wanted to see, I just had a quick question. When you guys are doing autopsies and when a patient's name is Jane Doe, is that because you don't have the patient's name per se?
I don't do autopsies. We do analyses for autopsies that are performed someplace else.
Oh, okay. Or toxicology analysis.
Yeah, the naming convention has to do with whoever does the autopsy. If they want to keep it anonymous, they'll call it John Doe, or maybe it is an unknown person.
Okay, but usually, generally, is it because the patient is unknown?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
This is probably like a coroner thing, because most people that die in a hospital, die at home, die in an auto accident,
Okay.
that type of thing, and they know who the individual is.
Okay.
The name that's assigned to him, whether they call him John Doe or not, has to do, as far as I know, from a legally, is that it's an unknown individual, so they just call him John Doe or Jane Doe.
Okay, so if the coroner basically receives a body and they don't know the name of the body, they say John or Jane Doe from the coroner's office.
That's what I think is done. Yes.
Okay, and then they give you.
When they send me any samples on it, they might put the name John Doe, or they might just put the case on there. And the cases are generally in cases like this is here, so it'd be 2012, and then they have a number. It's the number of the particular case they had. The fifth one this year would be 2012-000.
Oh, I see. Okay, so usually the John or Jane is because the coroners don't know the identity of the subject, correct? And then that's all the information that they can give you as to what they have. But they're not allowed to withhold the victim's name from you. Is that
No, that's not true.
okay?
The only you're asking a question that is really peculiar to a medical laboratory, because we're licensed
Right.
to work on live people.
Okay.
When it comes to performing analyses on animals or dead people, the licensure we have has no bearing on what we do, and there's no requirement for anybody to give us a name, just as long as they can identify the case that we send back to them. To me, it makes no difference.
Oh, okay, I
They
see.
could give me a number, they could make a name up. They could call it anonymous number 4. I don't make a distinction here. I just do the analysis.
I see.
Send the information back to whoever requested it.
Okay.
And all the years that I have been doing this work, which has been over 40 years, and I also was doing some toxicology work on autopsies,
Wow.
it was always a name.
Always. And when do you see no name? At what kind of level at that? Like, would they hide a name from you, say if the subject is a high celebrity, or if it's something, a security purposes?
No, I've had autopsies that were performed on government officials that are well known. There was a General Hershey who was in charge of the Selective Service System back in the 70s.
Wow.
He died kind of unsuspectedly in Indianapolis. I was there at the time. I got a phone call, and I was told that the General Hershey died. They want to have an autopsy done, and
Wow.
I arranged for it to be done at a local hospital.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I've also had other celebrities that...
Like recently?
oh, no, there's been a couple of
Oh, okay.
politicians and celebrities and so on that I have performed toxicological work on in the past, and no, they put the name right out there. Not John Doe. They would put the name on, like Sonny Bono,
Oh, really?
or anything. Yeah.
Wow.
See, the laboratory has a requirement to keep.
Right. I understand they have like a standard to uphold.
Yeah, they have to keep it private. So.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, Doctor, for giving me this. I really appreciate you giving me quite some insight as to the reasons why John Doe or Jane Doe is used in reports. And
Because they just don't know who it is.
right. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you.
Welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
So, guys, as you've seen there, okay, hang on a second. Let me stop this real quick. As you've seen there, okay, this guy just again admitted, okay, that they only use it to somebody that they don't know, that they can't identify. And he says in his office, he did Bono, okay, when Sonny Bono that died, that was Cher's ex-husband, and you know, he did the analysis, toxicology on his body, and they identified him. And then when the caller that went undercover to get information from this guy, he had revealed to her that let me see here. Let me think about this here real quick before I forget it. He revealed to her that he normally does not get any cases like that, and that there hadn't been any recent celebrities in his office that he had to do an autopsy for. And I find that this is quite interesting that he doesn't even know that he just recently, in February, just did a toxicology of Whitney Houston. And because why? It says here, but he got what's funny about this one is that he's got the gender of this person that was sent to him, and with the same identity number, the same tag number as Whitney Houston, that describes her as being a female. But that's quite interesting that he's even admitting that that's not normal for them to do that. And that he also said in the audio, if you heard correctly, just play it back if you get a chance to when you hear this video. He also said that in that audio that the only time that they usually never reveal the identity of the person, it's either they don't know the person or for legal reasons, that they would not do that. This is the guy that I believe, if I can remember correctly, he's the guy that she talked to earlier when he made that statement. But anyhow, now remember what I'm going to play next is going to get even more wicked, okay? Because we got a hold of this the NMS people, but the only problem is with these people here is that they weren't really they're not allowed to talk to anybody, to give any reports, and all we wanted to know is how that they used Jane Doe or John Doe, whenever they receive a report order from a coroner's office. I want to know that we all wanted to know how they use it and how they don't use it. But nevertheless, we're going to pass that one up for right now. But I'm going to get to the juicy part. Okay, the juicy part of what we're doing here is we're going to show you. Now, this is coming from the coroner's office of Los Angeles. This is the same coroner's office that did the autopsy of Whitney Houston, the forensics group that did the forensics analysis and research on her body to discover what the cause of death was. Now, he's going to even admit, you're going to hear this guy admit that they never use the identity or the word John Doe and Jane Doe on a victim that they know. But listen, you got to understand the significance of this, guys. But they always use Jane Doe and John Doe on victims that they do not know, that they have not identified. Well, you got to remember the dates on these toxicologies was the first one that was initially released. It was released on February the 18th. The other one was on March the 7th, which I have given you the dates a while ago. Now, so you can't tell me that this coroner's office did not know Whitney Houston, because they were already positively given the identity of Whitney Houston when they arrived at the hotel, because even Whitney Houston's daughter was there and confirming that that was her mother, Whitney Houston, in that room. So there was no way that the coroner's office could not have immediately knew the identity of Whitney Houston. And why did they remove her name from these two reports that you see me holding in my hands? Why did they remove their names on these reports that they had? These are what you call report orders that they send to the laboratories. They removed it, okay? And unless they had a very, very sinister purpose behind removing her identity. Because, and I'm going to put my own opinion in it now, because now now you can see the cover-up. Now you can understand the cover-up and the importance of this, because now this becomes open invitation to corruption, to conspiracy of concealing evidence and concealing information that deceives the public about what truly happened to this woman. Because now this could be fluids sent openly without any kind of track record, any kind of traces to where this fluid and the origins of where this fluid come from. This right here now leaves it wide open that this is not standard policy, and that these people are not releasing the proper fluids that actually truly come from her body. There's no way now of proving that these fluids did come from her body, because it's removed of her identity. The only thing here, anybody can put a number on a piece of paper, but when you do not put the identity, and another thing, and you notarize it as being the factual facts of her identity, that right there seals it that they're trying to say that this is her identity. Well, where's the proof? Her name's not on there. Just a number doesn't identify anybody. Anybody can put a number up there. But it's funny that they use her name on everything else in that 49 pages of her autopsy. They use her name everywhere, but they don't use her name when they send these orders 2 weeks later after she had passed away. This is the interesting part, guys. But I'm not going to talk anymore. Listen to this coroner's office. Listen to what he says very deeply, because now you're going to find out that they did conceal her freaking name. And now, and the reason why I say that this is important, that they conceal her name, is because now it leaves it wide open to any invitation to a criminality, to a conspiracy, a cover-up, and a manufactured autopsy to deceive the public of the proper and the truth of reasons and purposes of why this woman died. It also confirms even deeper that this document is forged, that this document is it is now a manufactured document. So, and also another thing, they didn't even test the powder in the room that they so-called claimed that they found in that room. If they tested to see if it was cocaine, they just threw it out there. Oh, we found, but they didn't find no drugs the first time they went through. The second time they went through, even the 4th all the way up until March the 22nd, they did not find any drugs in that freaking hotel room. It's been concealed. The room was sealed off from anybody even accessing into that room. Even today, ladies and gentlemen, you go to that hotel right now, try to book you a stay in that hotel room where she stayed at, you will find out they're not leasing it out to the public. It's even on their website that you cannot get that room. Now, but by saying that, you got to understand very clearly, guys, that why didn't they even test the powdery substance to prove that it was cocaine? It was no cocaine in that room. I proved it in my last video. I proved everything up to this point that they have manufactured this document. Now I'm going to show you how they left it wide open for corruption, and how that they used another person's fluids to put it together with this person by using Jane Doe as a way of concealing the true nature of where these fluids come from, to protect their own asses and to collaborate a manufactured statement of why she died. Listen to this. Here it goes. It gets crazy, guys. Watch just 1 second. Let me pull it up here real quick. Okay, listen carefully.
To report a death, press 1. For hours and location, press 2. To speak with someone in investigations for decedent relief or for the Youthful Drunk Driver Visitation or HAM program, press 3. To request documents or claim decedent personal property, press 4. For our gift shop skeletons in the closet, human resources, or other administrative. For investigation inquiries, press 1. For decedent...
Investigations can help you.
Hi, it's Melissa Morals calling back. I don't know if it was you that I was speaking with regarding the Jane Doe and John Doe.
No.
Oh, okay, it's not you. Sorry about that. My name is Melissa again, and I was just doing a project for school, and I wanted to identify as to when, like the coroner's office, when they use a Jane Doe or a John Doe. Is that when they don't know the identity of the victim?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, say you do know the identity of the victim and you wanted results or toxicology done on the victim. Do you sometimes put Jane Doe if you want to hide the identity of a victim?
No.
Never. Okay. So Jane Doe, John Doe is only used when you don't know.
For unidentified.
I'm sorry?
It's only for unidentified.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to ask a question. Now, do you do autopsies as well yourself, or the
I do. I'm in investigations. I'm not in the medical division.
Okay, but you're at the Coroners, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm just making sure if I have the right number. The reason why I wanted to focus on the Jane Doe and John Doe is that I was I'm doing a research project for school, and I was reading the autopsy of Whitney Houston, and I noticed that the coroner sent lab work and for toxicology, and they wrote Jane Doe. Can you answer that?
I have no clue. I was not involved in that case.
Okay, so basically Jane Doe and John Doe is only used when you don't know the victim, and that's it, right? Okay. All right then. Well, thank you so much for your time. Okay. Bye.
Wow. What do you think about that, guys? See, now we have literal proof that they do not use names to identify somebody they know. They do not use the phrase John Doe or Jane Doe to identify somebody they know. So in this case, when they went on board and went to the hotel, they were positively confirmed the identity of Whitney Houston by a next to kin family member, which was her daughter at the hotel, which was even family members, her sister-in-law that was at the hotel, identified her as being the one known as Whitney Houston. Isn't that amazing? And this guy just admitted that they do not use names to identify people they know, such in the phrase John Doe or Jane Doe. So in other words, they now got caught. They got busted red-handed for lying and deceiving the public, because now they can take full advantage of using fake fluids that belong to another patient and send it up there to make it look like and appear like it was fluids from her body. Was she high? Was she not? I don't think so, guys. I think this coroner lied through their teeth about the actual truth of what happened, and they got busted right here, right now. You can all hear it on this audio. I proved it to you all, and it's all going to be uploaded even individually by itself on YouTube. So, I'm sorry, honey? And oh, by the way, the source that gave me this information does not have psoriasis. It was a joke only to get them to talk. Okay, so therefore, I think my source is a very damn good undercover investigator. So, but then nevertheless, so and we're not faking. Doesn't have epileptic seizures either, and she's not a flake either. She happens to know the truth of why they use John Doe, but. Also, one other thing before I forget here. This is the John Heon. His name is Heon. Excuse me, let's say John. Detective Heon. Okay, he is from the Los Angeles Police Department, or the Beverly Hills Police Department. This is his first statement on the second page, okay, of the autopsy. It stated that he arrived on Saturday at February the 11th, 2012, at the hotel. Okay, this is the very second page of the autopsy report. Okay, that I'm holding in my hands. But I'm going to show you something quite significant. Okay, in this page here, it's a 4-page report. Okay, and I'm going to go to the 4th page, and I'm going to show you all very clearly that it's not even signed by this Heon. When he stated that he was there, okay, as you can see, there's no signature of this officer's name to confirm that this is his report. Okay. Also, this report, you can see it is not notarized. Okay. there's no seal of notary that can confirm that this is his report. So in other words, anyone could have printed this and used his name to make it look like he was at the scene of the crime, at the scene of the death that had occurred in that hotel. Secondly, here's another piece of report, that a 2-page report by apparently the same guy again, Heon. And this was further into the autopsy on page that you will see, chapter 13 or 13, page 13. You'll see it written on the left-hand corner, top corner up there. And this is him stating again that he was at the hotel on February the 10th, 2012. Okay, and that he was notified by the coroner's office by the name of B. Ellis that the coroner chief medical examiner, Dr. L, I'm just going to call him that because I don't know his last name, it's a really long and hard, difficult name, was requesting that a criminalist reported or respond to a death scene. Okay, now this is the funny part right here, guys, and I'm going to reiterate on this real clear. Okay, this document is also not signed by Heon. It is also not notarized by this officer who they claimed had made this report. Okay, but this report that I'm holding in my hands was filed as a legal evidence into evidence, and also documented. In other words, confirming that this date is accurate, that of this report, that he arrived on February the 10th before the death of Whitney Houston. Why? Why do we have a Beverly Hills Police Department arriving from the coroner's office, ordered by the coroner's office to arrive at the hotel and to prepare to respond to a death scene? And then he goes on saying in this report, he says that the Beverly Hills Police Department advised that it was ready for the department to respond to the scene. Guys, this is insane stuff. This is a cop admitting that he was advised to go to the hotel on February the 10th and prepare for a death scene. And he was even telling them that the police department is even ready for it. But when does the police department ever ready to arrive at a scene where a death has occurred? They're not going to be ready. They're simply going to go where that death had occurred. That's their job, is spontaneous response. They have to respond immediately once a death has occurred to where that death has occurred. Hang on just a second, guys. Also, yeah, this is another thing I do. My wife is also reminding me, is to mention to all of you that Bobby Christina also had almost the same fate the day before Whitney Houston died. Almost drowned in a bathtub. They had to revise her. Now, is it possible that she was the one that was loaded on drugs? And was it possible that they took the samples of her fluids when she was loaded on drugs and used it as a way to use it against her mother, to make it look like it was her mother that was all screwed up, all messed up, because they were plotting to kill her anyways? Is it possible that this is the case? And again, why wasn't Bobby Christina burnt in the same fashion? That's quite interesting, though. But nevertheless, here you go, guys. I can only say, research it. You can see without any shadow of doubt, without any doubt, that this whole document, this whole autopsy, this whole crime scene, and I'm calling it a crime scene, guys, this whole hotel scene of Whitney Houston's death and the Grammys was all staged. Even the Grammy was staged to be the disguise, the cover-up of the crime that was being committed. When you have a house full of people, it's hard to find the truth because the evidence is contaminated. And this right here, guys, needs to be reopened. Simple, end of subject, straight to the point. Foul play is what happened to this woman. They murdered that woman, and it is up to us to stand up strong, and we need to show the facts that these people lied about these scar marks and these marks on her body. They lied about it because even in their freaking them original comment, they said they did not have visual proof of trauma on her body when they made their first pass into that room. I have it documented. I put it on my last video. But guys, by saying that, keep on researching. This stuff is wicked. And I hope that it brings justice to Whitney Houston. I hope that the family gets involved in this. I hope that everybody gets involved in this one. Don't let this situation get too cold. Don't let it get too far out of reach. This woman needs to be brought, these people need to be brought to justice for their involvements and their conspiracy. Now you have to ask your next question before I go. Ask your next question. Who was so important enough in this crime scene that the coroner's office and the police department had to go through this extensive level to cover up and to deceive the public on a manufactured autopsy? What and who paid them, and how much money were they paid off to keep their mouth shut? That's all I want to know. Who was they involved in paying them to keep their mouth shut and to cover the truth from what really happened to her? It's our job, it's our lives, because if these kind of people are getting away from these kind of crimes, there's no telling what position and power of government that these people also are involved in and destroying our lives. Because simple little crimes like this you think is simple, but there's much more sinister and sophisticated involvements with this particular case here that goes all the way, like I said before, to the White House. You will see, I've said it before in all of my other videos, which I told you I'm not going to go into details about it, because if you didn't see my last videos, well, now's your opportunity to go onto our YouTube channel and to see every video that I made on this subject that discusses this subject in detail. But anyhow, by saying that, guys, it's all up to you. Y'all take care, and thanks for listening. I hope that you all do your research. And oh, by the way, go onto the YouTube channel. You'll hear all these audios. They will all be posted individually and not just only this video. And so, I'm sorry. Yeah, and also, yeah, that's another thing, guys. The only way that this can be light shine to this conspiracy, this was a complete, clear conspiracy, what these people did. And I got the proof sitting right here in front of my face, okay? This is their official report, okay? So now it's up to us to get this message out there and to bring justice to her and to try to save and preserve any other celebrities from getting killed in the same fashion. Guys, these celebrities are being popped off for a reason, because they're worth more to this Clive Davis guy, and they're worth more to these music and movie industries, the owners of these companies, when they're dead than they are alive. You got to start putting your heads together, guys. This is a celebrity slashing event that's taking place. That's the reason why Randy Quaid was going public telling you all that his life was being threatened. That's the reason why he took off to Canada on refugee status, because his life was being threatened. It's up to us not to ignore the cries and the voices of celebrities trying to cry out. Even though they're celebrities and they lived a fake life, it don't make a difference if you consider them fake. They're still human, and it's up to us to save these people from being killed from unjust and unjust purposes. Okay, this is my word, and I'm sticking to it. Guys, get out there and research, and I will see y'all next time. Thank you.